were you when you got the racial talk?
Oh, with my family? Never.
You never got to talk.
Racial talk, no.
Okay. What was your earliest memory of police brutality?
Probably Rodney King beating. Hearing about that. What was that?
Like,
What was it like? Outside looking in, hearing about it. Just I didn't live it, but just hearing about it was kind of like was real. As far as my own personal encounter, it probably was probably later in life. As an adult in Orlando, I had an encounter with some police officers at a bank. A white male saw that I was reaching into my own personal vehicle at an ATM machine, outside of an ATM machine, and I put my coat in the jacket. It was hot, and he called the police, and 4 squad cars rolled up on me. They pretty much told me to stop begging for money. And even after I explained to them who I was and what I was doing, they pretty much told me, don't beg for money. So I was upset. I was outraged. First of all, you send 4 police cars for a beggar. And secondly, why would I be begging? Because I was black. So it was frustrating. It was upsetting.
Do you feel like your family not having this off of you set you up for failure, or do you feel like did it help or hurt your journey?
Yeah. Let me say that I don't think I was ever sat down and had the talk, but just in general, I was always raised to be respectful to authority, to adults. So I always knew that. Looking back over things, yeah, I wish I would have been sat down and had a conversation about how the world really works and revolves. But my parents did the best job they could. And I have to learn from what the great and what the not so great that I experienced and just try and build upon that for my sons.
How does having sons make this time feel for you?
Yeah. It's very concerning. If I didn't have God, I would really be at a complete loss. I'll feel helpless. But I trust that God's going to see us through. But it is very concerning. Part of the way I've been able to get through this is just holding my boys. But I wonder what their futures look like. As I was having a conversation with some of my friends, now one of the things we have to, I guess, think about, we think about whether or not our children are going to be physicians. We think of whether or not they're going to be actors, pastors. Now, one of the things that can potentially be their future is, will they be murdered by law enforcement or by a racist? So it's very troubling, but I lean on my faith.
Will you have to talk with your faith?
Yes, gonna have to have that conversation. When? I'm not sure. I think it's really about maturity. You have to know your children, know when they're ready. I guess it's kind of like the birds and the bees conversation. You just kind of have to know your child. It's a conversation that has to be had. But when, I guess I'll know based upon their maturity as they mature.
If you could say anything to any other black men in the world, any black kid, what would you say to them?
Yeah. I just would like just to appeal to all the men out there and the women that we would press through any, I guess, uncertainties, nervousness, or just being uncomfortable, and have the conversations with the young men and women that are in our spheres of influence, because it's needed. And that's why on my platforms, no matter how large or small they are, I'm beginning to have the conversations with the young people that are in my sphere of influence. It's important, and we can't take for granted that they have the support system needed. They may even have a two-parent household, but they may not have the conversation. We all have different personalities. We all have gone through things. Some of us, the I guess the anxiety of the conversations or the uncomfortable level of the conversation. Some people run away from that. So we can't take for granted that people are having this conversation regardless of their family dynamic. They may have both parents. They may have one, but we should use our platforms to have the conversation.